If you broke up with someone who's avoidant, let me explain the reason they come back. I'm a relationship therapist. I used to be dismissive avoidant, so I'll explain exactly what happens and what makes an avoidant come back. Jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
First of all, you need to understand what we call the avoidant-anxious trap or dance, however you see it. The idea that you're in a relationship with two opposite forces. For example, if you have an anxious attachment style, you need connection. But your partner, at the same time, they need freedom. You want to plan a future, to plan for the future, to know what will you guys be, where you will be in 6 months, and they're scared of commitment. It's very hard for them. I'm still struggling to project myself in the future. More than 6 months is very difficult for me. You express your emotions versus they dismiss them. A very long time for me, I thought I was, managing my emotions like Buddha, and I realized I was just suppressing those emotions. I had them, but I decided not to look at them. So it's different than managing them. You need validation, you need to get people's attention, you need to get some form of recognition. Avoidant people, they don't rely. They know that they feel, and their belief is that they don't need anyone's approval. They have to rely on themselves. It is something familiar, and that's the reason I'm making this video is because when you are in a relationship with someone avoidant, we create this dynamic of push-pull, always. And my job as a therapist is to bring awareness of those mechanisms, help you to be more secure, to have healthier communication and attitude towards someone who is avoidant, and explain why they come back. Attachment style. Well, first of all, you need to look at your working models and work at developing a secure one. You're watching this video, not your ex. So you have to do that part of the job and hope that will have an effect, an impact on them. If they have feelings for you, that's what I see. Constantly, when you do the work, when you are honest with yourself, when you understand your insecurities, you inspire your partner to grow as well. So the reason you have to do it as well is not for your ex. You have to do it for yourself anyway. Because regardless of the outcome, this will benefit. And this will actually benefit you in other areas of your life. The way we are with people, my avoidant side had an effect on my colleagues, on my family. The way I would communicate with my parents, with my sister, for example. So one way to test it if you're single at the moment is to see how you can be more secure with colleagues, with your family, with your friends. Because there are for sure reasons when maybe you seek validation from your boss. Maybe it's very hard for you not to have an answer or a message from your best friend. So, of course, it has more intensity when our attachment styles are expressed during a relationship because it's what we call a primary attachment figure, but still you will find yourself having those traits with friends, family, or colleagues. One thing you need to remember is that they were attracted by you. So people might be thinking, and I see that sometimes in the comments of my videos, like, you're wasting your time with avoidants, they are narcissistic people, find someone else, they are the worst, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, you know your history, you know what you had, you know that person loved you, you know that person had feelings for you. Sometimes they would say things like, I've never been with anyone like you before, and so on and so forth. So my point is not to say it's good or bad to be with an avoidant. However, the thing you need to understand is that what I'm about to explain doesn't necessarily relate to relationships that are shorter than 6 to 12 months, because in those stages, the infatuation, the honeymoon period, people who are not interested will display kind of the same behaviors of someone who's avoidant. If you've had a relationship of many years with that person and you feel that this push-pull is getting too extreme, it's just the result of not managing this push-pull situation, and with years of non-communication or lack of communication, of misunderstanding, they decided to end the relationship. So the reason they were attracted to you, the reason avoidant love anxious people, is first of all, you complement each other, the yin, the yang, as I discussed before. For example, they are very cool and that helps you to cool down when you have high emotions. But at the same time, because you are in tune with your emotions, because you are bubbly and exciting, they love it, right? So you complement each other. In a way, our qualities have shortcomings, and those shortcomings can be compensated with our partner's quality. You are caring. Also very important as an anxious person, you're an empath. And so that helps them to discover a new language, help them to be aware of their emotion. They appreciate the fact that you're supportive, that you're a good listener, a good communicator, right? If I had to describe maybe avoidant to an extreme case, it's not that they're necessarily introvert, but they have difficulty expressing things. And so they are attracted to that person who is at ease doing those things, right? Because we're attracted by things we don't have, right? In the same way you're attracted to this ability to detach. Something extremely important you need to understand regarding avoidant after a breakup, it's what we call the Phantom X. It's coming from the book Attached, an amazing book if you want to learn about attachment style, and if you are curious about how to work on your internal working models. Amazing book written by Amir Levin about working models. You have some links in the description if you want to access one of the courses that we have about how to develop a secure attachment style. We're running challenges regularly for people to get group coaching with a cohort of people. The Phantom X is basically the idea that when you remove the tension from the relationship, i.e. everything that makes an avoidant leave the relationship, the commitment, the pressure, then there's no threats. And then they start looking at the relationship with another pair of eyes. They start to remember their ex's qualities. They idealize the relationship. Remember, they had feelings for you. They were genuine feelings. They love you, they love the relationship, but what they didn't like was the pressure, the intimacy to where it's like overwhelming, where they don't necessarily know how to reciprocate. You're gone. Now they are reflecting and thinking, actually, I want this. I want what I don't have. That happens almost all the time with avoidant. Being secure is what works. In the recovery phase, which is very different than if you were to have couple counseling with me, for example. In the recovery phase, you need to mirror their behavior. The idea is to forget about your boundaries, forget about your needs, forget about the fact that you're upset, that you want to address things, that you want to tell them how much you love them. That's not the point. At this stage, you do whatever it takes to get your ex, which is to maintain the distance. And I know it's not okay with you. That's not how you want to design your relationship. That's not your ideal relationship doing this. Right now, we are about the recovery. We are about doing what it takes for that person to feel safe, for that person to feel in a secure base, where they know if at any point in time they feel a threat, i.e. commitment, i.e. intimacy, they can pull back and go to their safe place. It's very important, especially at the beginning. So practical tips in that sense, don't react right away. So the thing is, if they detach, if they not ghost you, but if they don't reply right away, it's not a provocation. It's not something, they don't do it to hurt you. Don't assume that they always do things to hurt you. It's just how they function. Make them talk. It's important that you let them feel in control. Another very important on why you should let them talk is that by letting them talk, they feel heard as well. I know you want to get heard. I know you want to discuss things with them, to explain how much you hurt, your feelings, how much you love them, how different the relationship could be. But that's not what they want. Right now, they want a bit of space. They want to feel like, okay, I'm not used to speak, I'm not comfortable speaking. So give me that space. Okay, it's very important. Also, when you let the other talking, it prevents you from being too emotional. Right? Remember also that to take your time. It's not a race. Somehow, the longer it takes, the better. And the reason is that your ex will assess the situation, and they will assess at their own pace. And obviously, you want to reunite with your ex as quickly as possible. That's not the same for them. For them, they just want to be cautious. They just want to be sure they're making the right decision, because in a way, they don't want you to suffer again, because they're not sure about their own abilities to make you happy, because they felt you were unsatisfied or upset by their behavior. So that's why it's important to develop this secure attachment style, where you can work on maybe managing unrealistic needs and finding like a balance. It's all about balance. You will always have this push-pull. And being in a push-pull situation is not bad in a way, because if you look at any relationships you have around you, there's always this push-pull. The challenge or the key here is to find the balance. You'll always be the anxious of someone, and your partner will always be the avoidant of someone. It's just by communicating and being as a team that matters. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. There are links in the description. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.